right, thank you all for joining us for our mixology class tonight. Before we get started, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about one of our upcoming programs here at the New Lenox Public Library. On Wednesday, August 18th from 6 to 7, members from the Pachamama Alliance group in Chicago will present a program entitled Solutions to Climate Change, Food Waste. And it focuses all on food waste, the third biggest contributor to global warming. They're going to be discussing how you can reduce food waste at home, at work, and in your community. This is going to be an in-person program, and in meeting room B, registration is required, and you can register on our website, newlenoxlibrary.org. And our presenter tonight is Chris Bruder, a hospitality industry pro with 15 years of experience, working everywhere from a family hot dog stand to fine dining in Chicago's downtown loop. He loves to share his knowledge of service industry culture and enjoys drinking wine that he can't afford. He's curated several cocktail menus over the years and has fun doing it each time. While he's not working, Chris enjoys urban cycling and spending time with family and friends. All right, Chris, you can start whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thanks, Juliana. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris. I'm going to be mixing up a couple cocktails for you guys tonight. Glad everybody's here. We have a nice small group, so it's going to be interactive. I want you guys to ask questions. If at any time you need me to stop, slow down, repeat something, please let me know. I'm going to do a little test on this chat right now. All right, everyone can see the chat. Thumbs up. Awesome. Cool. All right, I got some of my favorite bar snacks. I got some cashews down here. I got the Olympics on in the background, and I think we're ready to get started. So I'm gonna share my screen, and then all right, everyone can see that, right? Did it pop up on your guys' screen?
Yeah, we got it here. Okay,
awesome. All right, so welcome to the New Lenox Public Library's mixology class. My name's Chris. My email's right there, so this slideshow will probably get shared with you at the end of it. If you have any questions about anything we did tonight, feel free to email me any questions about, cocktails or anything about a home bar. I'd love to answer that too. All right, so everyone, if you want to just throw in the chat, feel out the room. What's your go-to drink? What if you're, you're at a bar and your waitress walks up to you and says, what do you have? And you got, 10 seconds to answer. What's quick? Moscow Mule? Love that. Ginger beer and some vodka. G&T, perfect summer cocktail. Manhattan. Negroni. Okay, we got some. These are good answers. Wow, yeah. Cool. I love a Negroni. Perfectly balanced cocktail. Awesome. All right. So the first thing we're going to go over tonight, before we get to the fun part, we're going to talk about getting that home bar set up for success. So, I think it's two parts. You want all the supplies you need, and then a little bit of technique can really elevate your home bar game for when you're entertaining. You have a family party in the summer, graduation party, holiday party, whatever. The tools for success, it really helps you out. Where everything's in place and you can get to it quickly. When I set up a home bar, we'll talk about spirits first. You have your people like bourbon, people like vodka or gin. I would say 6 different kinds of bottles, tequila, vodka, gin, rum, bourbon. That's probably about it. A little bit of something for everybody. Club soda and tonic are always a great option. Some fresh produce. I got oranges, limes. You can have some lemons for fresh squeezed juice. We're going to peel a couple of the oranges tonight for when we make our old fashioned. So, just having that stuff handy is it's really nice. Mixers, you want your juices, you can do cranberry, orange juice. It just depends on what, the theme you're going for. If you specifically plan a menu to, to make a certain cocktail, sometimes people have like a signature cocktail that, hey, tonight we're all going to enjoy some Manhattans, or tonight we're going to do, I don't know, a Tom Collins with gin or something. You just, you plan accordingly how many guests you have, and then you go from there. A little bit of liquid confidence never hurts either. I usually have a, you can have a drink while you're setting everything up, while you're waiting for your guests to arrive. And usually with a friend too. That's the best way to do it. Have one of your friends over to help set everything up and wait for people to get here. And then the last thing, you can never have enough ice. So, when you go to the gas station, run down the street, you pick up the bag of ice. I always get two because you'll definitely need more by the end of it. So ice is important. You'll use it for keeping stuff cold. You use it for, mixing drinks, vodka sodas, gin and tonic, everything. You'll always, you always seem to run out and you always seem to need more. And then towels just to keep the place clean. I am a little OCD about my bar. Like to keep it nice and clean. Always have a towel in my pocket and wiping everything down. So, all right, let's get to the fun part. The first one we're gonna make tonight is a mojito. It's a pretty popular cocktail, a summer cocktail, perfect for the hot weather we're having today. I think it's from Cuba originally, but I like it. It's nice and light. The mint is a really nice touch. So this is gonna be a shaken cocktail. So we're gonna take our pint glass and we're gonna take our shaker. Let me get my ice over here. Hold on one second. Oh, and one other thing that we all need to, this is probably one of your most important tools. I hand pour a lot of my cocktails. I just grab the bottle right into my mug or whatever. But if you're going for precision, a jigger, 2 ounces and 1 ounce on the other side. And then on the inside of this, there's a little marker right here for 1.5 ounces. And there's half ounce here, 0.75 ounces here. So it just kind of makes it a little more precise. I'm not picky about it. If, it's a heavy pour, no one's gonna rake you over the coals for it anyway. So let's get started on the mojito. So I got my pint glass. We're gonna use this to mix it in. Fill it up with some ice here. First thing we're gonna start with is the rum. Bacardi works. This is Myers white rum. It's on sale. I usually pick up whatever's cheap at the store. So jigger, here we go. So we're gonna pour 2 ounces of this in the jigger. Right over the ice. Next is the simple syrup. This is gonna be a 1-to-1 ratio of just white granulated sugar, water. I use hot water to dissolve the sugar. It works really well. Just for tonight, I just made a little glass of it. If you're having a big party and you want a big bottle, I'd fill, like a big measuring cup with sugar and then water the same amount. So just mix it up, make sure it's all dissolved. It'll turn nice and clear again like this. We are doing 1/2 ounce of this. Right in. I'm going to use a fresh lime. I'm just going to squeeze the lime juice right into the cup. You can buy bottled fresh squeezed lime juice. It works just as good. It's fresh. It stays good for 2 or 3 days in the fridge. So if you have a party, you can, buy 2 or 3 bottles and it'll be good for the night. This is going to give it that nice acid that we need. And then this is an important part, is the mint. So I've seen better looking mint in my life. This is kind of weak, but you can grow your own. You can buy some at the store, but buy it the same day. Keep it as fresh as possible. Keep it in the fridge. So just tear off a couple sprigs like this and put it in your hand, and you're going to smack it. You don't want to shred it up, but just get those aromatics flowing out of the mint. So we're going to throw it right in. We're going to put our top on here, and we're going to shake it up. In about 10 or 15 seconds, just get it all nice and combined together. This thing off. And the mojito usually goes in a tall Collins glass like this. So a big, tall vertical glass. Fill this up with ice. All right, I'm gonna grab the strainer on the, if I can find it. Where'd it go? Yeah, that's okay, we'll use this. This is gonna strain. The mint can go right in it. Here we go. And then we're gonna top this with our club soda. Get nice and fizzy. We're gonna garnish it with a lime. And you can throw some mint in there too. It'll make it nice and minty with the rum. All right, and here's cocktail number 1. So, let's see. Tastes good. It's a great summer cocktail. All right, this one's going to my live studio audience out here for Mom. Here we go.
Thank you.
Careful with that one. All right. How'd it turn out for everybody? Let's see in the chat if anybody. Thumbs up maybe from anybody. Thumbs up, looks good. Okay. All right, so yeah, I like on a hot day, it's a perfect one. You hydrate a little bit with the soda water. All right, so what's next? So a lot of people in the mixology community, we trial and error, we go back and forth about, what kind of cocktails we like. People out there who are far more talented than me, they're making some really cool stuff. They measure stuff down to the milliliter and they get ingredients I've never heard of, all sorts of crazy stuff. But I like to keep it a little more simple. I like the classics. But a couple rules just to follow that really can make your cocktail game great are balance, number one. When the spirits that you use, like I'll say bourbon or vodka, they're really strong, they bite. You want something to balance it out. So you use some sugar, you use some acid, you want that astringent quality too. So you get a little bit of, you can still taste the alcohol. Yeah, that kind of provides the backbone of the cocktail for you. But some lemon juice, cranberry, lime juice for that acid is really, it's a nice way to give it some structure, I guess you'd say. What else? Some bitterness, someone mentioned a Negroni. I would definitely consider that a bitter cocktail with the gin and Campari, but Campari gives it the acid, the sweet vermouth, it really rounds it out nicely. And it's a really strong cocktail too. So that's a good one. I was debating putting that one in our presentation. I'm glad someone mentioned it in the chat earlier. Temperature, that brings me to my next little point about this. You want to shake these things really good, have an abundance of ice. You want them nice and ice cold. You don't want it to get lukewarm. And one of the next steps we're going to take now before we do the martini, we're going to get our martini glass right here. This is one of my first bosses ever taught me this. She was very, very picky about everything that went on in her restaurant, very critical, but she taught me a lot. At the time, I probably didn't appreciate it, but looking back, it's those are the skills that you kind of take with you as you go on. But she wanted every drink that we made, she wanted the glass that the drink was made in to be the same temperature as what was going into it. So I'm gonna take some ice and we're gonna put it in the martini glass. And usually, if you're at a bar, you have a soda gun with, Coke, Sprite, club soda, tonic water on it. But we're at the home bar tonight, so we're gonna do it just like this. Some ice in the martini glass. Use some club soda. We're gonna let it sit for just a minute before we make the martini. The glass is gonna get really cold, and it just kind of, while you're sipping on this, it kind of, the vodka doesn't get warm from the glass. So it's a nice little touch. This goes for hot cocktails too. If you make a hot toddy, you can get your tea kettle or a coffee pot, fill it with hot water, the little glass you use for it. Get that glass nice and piping hot, dump it out, pour your hot toddy in there, and then it stays warmer for a little bit longer. So it's a nice little detail to think of if you're just making it for yourself. Let's see, in good company, obviously, that's the number one for these kind of things too. A relaxing setting. I like to, when it's nice out, I like to be outside in a patio somewhere. If I'm lucky enough to get onto a rooftop, that's always nice. And then trial and error. That's just one of the fun things about making cocktails too. You can make a mistake, not the end of the world. You can use a billion different ingredients. You can play with them, adjust the measurements a little bit to see, flavor profilers, what you like. So that's a big part of, bartending world. We are always mixing up different stuff. Okay, so let's get onto that martini, I guess. All right, so The standard pour for martini, it's 3 ounces, usually vodka or gin. Tonight I had this laying around, the good stuff. I got some Grey Goose. So people, it's the eternal battle between vodka or gin. Some people are purists and they say a martini is made with gin. You stir it, you don't shake it, you don't want to bruise the gin. Vodka, you shake it up, you want it nice and ice cold. And I like this, martini is a classic, just, how it is perfect, but it's a really versatile base you can use. If you want to throw some, I don't know, if you want to muddle up some blueberries or blackberries or something, it really takes on the flavor of whatever you use it with. Um, I have some olives here. I like a dirty martini. I like that salty brine from the olive juice. And this stuff a little bit goes a long way here. So I would say, if you like it dirty, a half ounce. If you like it extra dirty, a whole ounce of olive juice works perfectly. Do you have any martini fans out there today? Okay, David, good. Oh, oh no. Hmm. Oh no. Whoops. Hold on. We're gonna go back here. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna rinse. We're gonna rinse out our mixing glass from the Mojito. I got a sink right here. Excuse me one second. This is what all the towels are for too. You want to just, everything's gonna get wet. You're gonna make a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. All right, so we're gonna measure out 3 ounces of. Oh, and first let's next dump out the club soda and the ice. That the glass is nice and cold now. You can feel it. It's steaming up a little bit, so the glass is nice and cold. Dump that out. All right. Here, this is for the Martini Rossi. It's dry vermouth. So if you like a, a dry martini, I use just a little splash into the glass, no more than a half an ounce. You just pour it right in, let it sit there, and then you twirl it around the martini glass just to get it covered all the way around the glass. You dump it out. Someone asked for an extra dry martini. That's no vermouth in it. So some people like a little bit, just a splash or rinse around the glass. Then we're gonna do 3 ounces of vodka. There's 2. Flip it over. It's the last ounce. All right, and I am gonna go ahead and throw a half ounce of this olive juice in there. I don't know. It cuts through that bite of the vodka, makes it a little bit salty. I think it's a nice way to have a martini. There's all sorts of ways though. People like a lemon twist in there. They rub it around the rim of the glass. You can use cocktail onions. It's called a Gibson. So this olive juice is going right in here. Some more ice. All right, we're gonna shake this one up. And people want these really cold, So strainer, here we go. And I use one of these like fine, really fine strainers. A lot of the ice breaks up in here in the mixing glass. If you wanna really step it up, you can pour it over a strainer. All those little ice chunks will get stuck in here. And you'll be left with nothing but a little olive juice and the ice cold vodka. So here we go. All right. Little skewer. really want to get fancy, you can pit these olives and stuff some blue cheese in there. That's the advanced class next time. Here we go. All right, let's see. Nice and salty, ice cold. That glass is cold. It's a quality martini. All right, Grandma, come here. This one's for you. Uh-oh. Oh, no, she doesn't want it. Uh-oh. Okay, maybe for later. All right. But yeah, the martini, it says a million different ways to make it your own. You can do gin, vodka, any kind of flavoring you like in there. Cosmo is a popular one. That's a little bit of lime juice, triple sec, the orange flavored liqueur, vodka and cranberry juice just to make it that bright pink color. Yeah, and you'll go to some martini bars and they'll have pages and pages of menu or pages on their menu of, a billion different martinis. So, imitating any of those can't be too hard. You just gotta, trial and error, practice them and you make it work. You gotta find what you like for your palate. All right, so let's keep it going. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody have at least one cocktail going good? Okay, that's good. All right. And then, someone asked me, what am I drinking? What do you, that's a question, bartender servers ask each other. Have you had anything interesting lately? Have you had anything fun? And, earlier in my 20s, I would try everything. I was discovering what you like and stuff. But now I think about it and it's more of a, what season is it? How hot is it outside? Where am I? It's more of a setting thing rather than, I'm going through a bourbon kick or it's a gin kick or something or beer or wine. If I'm out at a patio, I'm probably drinking beer. If I'm I'm at a swanky wedding or something, I might have a gin and tonic, but it's, that's what I've come to realize, where I am, how hot it is outside. I usually tend to drink clear spirits in the summer. The Mojito, perfect. Gin and tonic is great. And, when it gets cold out, we get these cold winters up here in the Midwest. I'll put a little bit of bourbon on the rocks and drink it just like that. I'll throw some bitters in there. I'll have a Manhattan or something. Keep it simple. So yeah, it's more of a weather dependent, situation dependent kind of thing. I'm a wine lover too. I've worked in some nice wine bars in my career and I've had the opportunity to taste some expensive, nice bottles that I probably wouldn't have been able to taste otherwise. And, my thing, if I'm drinking it at home, I drink boxed wine. I'll drink Franzia in the summer. I'll drink, the Boda box or something. They're a really good value. You can get one of those Boda boxes for $20 and it's, it's perfectly fine for, any day of the week. I'm at a nice, Christmas Eve dinner or something. I'll get a bottle of red with a steak and something for a special occasion. So it just, it all depends. Beer, I'm over the hops craze. I love an IPA now and then, but I think the hops craze had its moment in the sun. I think we're evolving into something different. So Pilsners, amber ales are really good as the weather gets a little bit colder. It just depends on what you like. A porter, I like a nice dark beer sometimes too. And the last thing on here is ask your bartenders or servers, what if you're at a restaurant, what's popular? What can their bartender make really well? What's their specialty? Sometimes people are a little hesitant to, ask that kind of question, but I think it's a compliment to me. It's flattering, if someone says, what do you nail every time you make a cocktail? What do people come to you for? What are your regulars like that you make? I think it's, I think bartenders like that question. So, and if you have a cocktail in mind that you're a little, hesitant to ask about, just ask if, can you make this? If you have the ingredients, I'd love to enjoy one of these. Most bars have more stuff than they even know what's behind their bar. So, if you're patient and, you have an extra second to wait and you say, hey, could you check and see if you have this, this, and this for a cocktail? I'm sure they'd be more than happy to make it for you. So it's a nice little way to try something new at your favorite place. All right. And here, this is everybody's favorite. I ask, 8 out of 10 people, and what's your go-to? A lot of people say old fashioned. It's simple. It's bourbon, bourbon or rye, whichever you prefer. A little bit of sugar, and then these Angostura bitters. You just need a little bit of them. You can get this bottle for $7 or $8. You can get it at Jewel, whatever local grocery store. Any liquor store will have a bunch of these. So This is a stirred cocktail. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out all this stuff again. And old fashions, since you're adding sugar to it, some people buy expensive bourbon for it. I think, you should use cheap bourbon for it. I'm going to use Jim Beam or whatever you have laying around. Bourbon can become very expensive very quickly. You can spend 40, 50, 60 bucks on a little bottle of it. And well, it tastes great, but I think the way to enjoy a nice bottle of bourbon, just a little couple ice cubes or neat, no ice in it, sipping bourbon. If you're gonna add sugar to stuff, there's no reason to, use the top shelf liquor. It's gonna get, it's gonna become sweet anyways. So if it's, nice liquor that you have, I would save it for just sipping on. So I'm gonna use Jim Beam for this. We're gonna do 2 ounces of bourbon. I got the Jim Beam right here. Got my simple syrup here. I'm just using a little glass. Yeah, it's half sugar, half water, like we said. Right in here. Bitters, I would go 3 to 5 dashes. I'm gonna throw some ice in here actually before I do that too. Right, yeah, 3 dashes, perfect amount. It's gonna give it some nice color. And my bar spoon. All right, we're gonna stir this up. One of the most important things about cocktails that you stir to, water is definitely your friend for these things. You want to thin out that bite from the bourbon or the rye. So you want to give it a really nice, good stir. Getting a little warm, the water dissolving in there, you definitely want that, or else it's going to be too strong. So water's a good thing. We use a rocks glass, just like this, a short little thick glass. Fill it up all the way with ice. Rinse off my strainer again. Go, and then for a garnish on this, people like cherries. I love a nice maraschino cherry. Stick it right in. They're tasty to eat, but an orange, a nice big navel orange. One of these peelers, a vertical peeler, is probably the way to do it. These things are real. They're really sharp, and when you're holding onto it, hold the back of the orange and then slice forward. Move the orange, not the don't pull the peeler. I've lost many fingernails like that before. So yeah, you want a nice big thick piece. There we go. So you got your big slice of the orange peel like this. Take it, rub it around the rim of the glass really good. And then we're gonna twist it. So all the oils from the peel are gonna go right in there. Throw the whole thing right in. It's a small little step, but it really gives it some aromatics. You really get the orange flavor. I feel like it brings out the bourbon too. So let's see how this one goes. That's really good. Yeah, it's one of my favorites too. So there we go. All right, and yeah, so the last little bullet point on there, the Angostura, this company right here, these bitters, they make a billion different flavors of these. I've seen walnut bitters, I've seen apple bitters, there's orange bitters, chocolate. This is another one like the martini. There's a billion variations out there. You can, just play around with some of these. They're not too expensive, so you can pick up, I think more of a specialty liquor store would have, a big selection of these in in their bitter Amaro section. So, you know, just a different type of bitters is always fun to play with too for your old fashioned. Switch it up, give it a different kind of flavor. You can use them in Manhattans too. And, you know, even sometimes a little bit of soda water with ice and some bitters is, you know, it's just a nice little different kind of drink with some bubbles in it. So, all right. And here's some of my other, this is the last little part. These are some cocktails that you know, over the years, I've collected a couple favorites that you know, from now and then, if I find a place that can make one, or I love, you know, these are cocktails. When someone asks me for one of these, I really enjoy making one. The first one, it's a Sazerac, and I'm going to email this to all you guys. You're going to have this presentation. So if you want to look these up, they're fun. It's a nice little way to do a little home experiment. A Sazerac uses some rye whiskey, some like absinthe flavor. It's that really black licorice kind of taste, and then a lemon peel. You do the same thing you did with the old fashioned, just like that. Very different, definitely probably for a more advanced palate. It's your 21-year-old is probably not going to be liking one of these too much, but you know, it's how you learn different stuff. Paloma tequila cocktail with grapefruit juice, Corpse Reviver. It's a gin cocktail. The last word, this is a bourbon cocktail with chartreuse in it. A really kind of off the grid liqueur. It's a weird, one of the most unique flavored liqueurs I've ever had in my life, I'd say. Hot mulled wine's always fun during the holidays. Some brandy, you throw, you know, a bunch of fruit in it and get it hot. The Vesper is the James Bond cocktail. It's gin and vodka with a little bit of Lillet Blanc in it. Very strong. It'll definitely do the job. And then Negroni, the last one. This is a classic that I love. So, all right. All right. You guys can still see me, right? Okay, good. You can see it?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, cool. All right. I want to take some questions now. Do you guys have anything? Let me get this back on the big full screen view so I can see all you guys. All right.
Hey, Chris, there's so many different kinds of gin. Is there any brand names that you'd recommend?
You know, I've had my go-to is usually Bombay. You know, it's a nice, you know, there's a lot of herbs in it. I think it's a nice gin, but there's one that it's kind of a rare one. It's called Boodles, Boodles. It was pretty unique when I tried it. I was with a gin connoisseur, and I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know what the price point is. I don't even know, you know, where to find it, but I like that one a lot. What other kind of gins? You know, you can get your slow gins. You can get your, you know, a lot of different Irish gins that, you know, are different kind of stuff. You mix them with tonics. And something else going on right now too is a lot of different tonic flavors are coming out right now. There's a brand called Fever Tree. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, you can find them at probably a bunch of different kinds of liquor stores, but Fever Tree, they make little, probably, I don't know, 8-ounce, 12-ounce bottles. You can get them in like a 4-pack or a 6-pack or something. But they're really nice to, you know, play around with different gins. You can mix and match. And one of my favorite garnishes for gin is like a fresh thyme sprig. It really, you know, it really brings out the flavor of all the herbs in the gin. Gin's a really unique, it's a unique spirit. There's a billion different kinds. So, okay, good. Jennifer, it looks like you got all of them right there. That looks good. How'd they turn out? Good. Cool. All right. I haven't used Zoom in a little while. I'm trying to get this thing back to full screen. All right. Here we go. Does anybody, how'd they turn out for everybody? Good, I can't see some of you.
Real
There we
good.
go. Oh, they look good, yeah. Anybody use cherries for the old fashioned? There we go. That looks good. Yeah. Where do you guys, so New Lenox is in Indiana, Juliana told me, right?
No, it's Illinois.
It's Illinois. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, we're in Illinois. Yeah.
It's south suburb or north?
So we're near Mokina.
Okay.
You're familiar with that?
Yeah, okay. So it's a little south. Yeah, yeah. You know, I usually give people recommendations too on, you know, places where I like to go, but I'm in the west suburbs right now. I've lived in the city for a while too. You know, there's a bunch of different cocktail bars out there. But I think, you know, it's when you go out for dinner, I think, you know, asking your server or your bartender, I really, you know, if you take one thing away, don't be afraid to ask, you know, where you're dining out. What, you know, what do you do well? What do you like to make? You know, what kind of beer do you, you know, what's moving, what's popular right now? I think
Right.
it's, you know, it's really, you know, just way to get something different, way to, you know, people who are, you know, who do this for work. You know, we kind of see some trends. We, you know, what's selling, what's good right now. So, doesn't you guys ever make it down to the city for like a show or anything, or like, you know, spend a day by the lake or something? Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
cool. There's a rooftop right on Michigan Avenue. It's called Cindy's. It's at like Michigan and Madison. It's part of the Chicago Athletic Association, the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. It's I mean, I can't lie, you'll probably pay $14 for an old fashioned, but
Right.
the view, you know, you get an incredible view overlooking Millennium Park, the lake. You know, you're 8 stories up above the whole city, so you know it's a nice place to for a date night or something, or if you want to just, you know, grab a cocktail before you go to a show. It's one of my favorite places. There's nice big, you know, patio tables, chairs and stuff. You can overlook all that.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that place. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a nice cocktail bar. And there's one other one, and the people here they're magicians. I don't know what they're doing in this place, but it's always one of the hottest cocktail bars in the city. It's called Money Gun.
Okay.
Yeah, Money Gun. It's at Lake Street and like the expressway, like 9094, right above there.
Okay.
It's a very hipstery, like low lighting kind of speakeasy kind of place. But it's one of my favorite places. You ever make it out there? They're doing some cool stuff. They have all different kinds of names for all their cocktails. They're all created in-house. Those bartenders are very talented people over there, so they're doing some cool stuff. But yeah, you know, you can grab a book from anywhere too, you know, a classic cocktail book. You can go through the classics. And it's fun to just experiment with different stuff. And that's earlier I was saying, you know, 6 different bottles of bourbon, a gin, vodka, rum, tequila. You know, if you have those staples at your house, you can always grab, you can run to Jewel and grab like, you know, some lime juice, some lemon juice. You can make the simple syrup at home. A bottle of bitters is always great. A bottle of sweet vermouth is always good to have too. So you can play around with a bunch of different stuff. You know, during the summer, I'm drinking my boxed wine too out of the Franzia, the crisp white, if anyone likes that
Right.
stuff. So that's my Wednesday night go-to sometimes. But yeah, I'm glad you guys all showed up for this. I had a really nice time showing you how to make some cocktails. I hope everybody learned a little bit of something. So
All right. Thank you, Chris.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And the drinks look great, especially the martini.
yeah, the martini turned out really nice.
And that one went to grandma, right?
Yep, yeah, she's
Yep.
over there. Al.
All right. And thank you to everyone who attended tonight. You'll receive an email with our program survey, and like Chris mentioned, we can also attach this presentation so you can all look at this later on. And if you have the time, please fill out our survey. Let us know what you thought of the program tonight. And cheers and have a good night.
Here's everybody. Yeah, I can make the presentation public, so I'll send it over to you, Juliana, and then
All
everyone
right.
can have it.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Email me too. My email's on there, guys. If you have any questions about anything, I can shoot you a quick email. You know, any of the stuff we talked about or any other recommendations, I'd love to. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.